What is going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonflight video. Hope you're all pumped and ready to go for the next 10.2 tier set reveal. We're talking about Brewmaster Monk today, and what I consider to be, I think, the best tanking tier set right now out of all the different tier sets. We'll get to that in a second. I have a really important thing to show you. Here's all the changes coming for Brewmaster Monk, just on the in terms of like talents and stuff. There is a grand total of 0. So right now, there's literally no changes coming for Brewmaster Monk, okay? There you go. Good, we're done with that section. Now, why do I think the tier set is the best of all the tanks? Well, in summary, some of the other tank bonuses are bad. Some of them we don't really know about, and some of them are good, but they're not quite as good as Brewmaster. Vengeance DH has all this sigil stuff going on. There are massive changes coming to the class and spec tree for Vengeance that we don't have yet. They're coming next week. So I can't really make a judgment call on how good the Vengeance set is. The Guardian Druid set is actually quite good, but it's tied to Rage of the Sleeper, which is like a 1-minute cooldown, so you don't get any value out of your tier set bonus outside of Rage of the Sleeper. So everything about it happens kind of during Rage of the Sleeper and just after Rage of the Sleeper. So it's good, but I don't know that it's going to be amazing. We'll have to see. The Paladin tier set bonus is kind of just terrible. The Warrior tier set bonus is kind of all focused on like single target. It's all about shield slam, and it only has a single target. It gives you some like it cools down thunderclap, but it's just not that great, honestly. And then the Blood DK one is actually very, very good. Probably second place in my opinion right now. The Blood DK one is very good. I think the Brewmaster Monk one is top tier, if not the best. It's tied for Blood DK for being the best. I would put them right up there. I think Brewmaster is a little bit better. So here's why. Let's dive right into the tier set bonus and talk about why I think it's the best for all the tanks. We'll just start with the two-piece, of course. Breath of Fire deals 20% bonus damage as Shadow Flame and causes you to heal for 50% of all fire damage dealt. Let's just stop right there. Shadow Flame damage, if you don't know, is fire damage. It's shadow and fire put together, so it counts as fire damage. Brewmaster Monk's biggest weakness, maybe their only real weakness, is that they don't have sustained healing for a long period of time. Over the course of a longer encounter, if you're pulling 10 to 12 mobs in Mythic Plus, and the fight is lasting for 30, 40, 50 seconds, you don't have incredible sustain over that long period of time. You do have some sustain. You know, your blackout kicks are reducing your stagger. You're getting these healing spheres that are spawning. You can pull all the healing spheres in with Expel Harm. You have healing elixir that you can take. You have your brews, of course, purifying, and Celestial Brew giving you a shield. But you can't, like, infinitely heal yourself with like ignore pain like a warrior can, or heal yourself like a paladin can. They can just sort of go infinite, right? As long as they can generate holy power, they can heal themselves. Guardian Druid having frenzy regeneration to always be able to heal themselves. So we don't quite have the same thing. So this giving us 50% of a healing from all of the fire damage that we deal. Sorry, 50% of the fire damage that we deal will heal us now. That is a massive deal for Brewmaster Monk. Brewmaster Monk has amazing damage reduction because of your stagger. You have amazing cooldowns like Nizao and Fortifying Brew, and you can actually spec into other ones, which we don't right now. We usually take the dodge, which is down here. You could get Dampen Harm. You could get Diffuse Magic. Like, there is a lot of damage reduction, not a lot of like sustain, like really, really long sustain. So the two-piece alone is completely insane. And if we look at an AoE dummy that I was beating up for a while, where were they? Were they here? 102k, here we go. So we can see the amount of fire damage that I'm dealing right now, okay? Let's add it up. Exploding Keg, 622. Dragonfire, Force, that's about a million, 1.1 million. Breath of Fire, Cola Call, that 1.5 million. 1.75 million. And then the new Char Dreams, another 439. We're over 2 million damage that we did was fire damage. Half of that is going to heal us. 50% of that damage is going to heal us. That's in an AoE situation, okay? In a single target situation, we can actually look at the healing that I did. It's kind of hard to evaluate this entirely because, again, this is only on one target. You can see Charred Dreams healed us for almost 1 million healing, as I said. And it obviously, it overhealed for 50%. So this is actually like 1.5 million healing just from the tier set bonus. If we didn't overheal, it would be up here. It would be like 14%, 13.5% of our healing just from the new tier set bonus. To gain 13% HPS in a single target environment is bananas for Brewmaster Monk. It's really difficult to evaluate how good this is on an AoE situation because I don't have AoE dummies that are going to attack me. So I'm trying to give this a really good evaluation for Mythic Plus. I think if we're healing for this much on an AoE, or sorry, a single target training dummy, then we're going to heal for way more on AoE because all of our Breath of Fire is going to be hitting everybody. The Charred Dreams damage is going to be hitting everybody, right? Depending on what talents I take. If I take Charred Passions, my Spinning Crane Kick is going to be hitting everybody. So I'm going to be healing for way, way, way more. And I'm going to be taking a lot more damage as well, therefore having more damage to heal. So this 2-piece bonus by itself healing us is completely insane, in my opinion. I think it's really important to emphasize how strong this is for Brewmaster Monk. Brewmaster Monk, with a little bit of Leech, becomes one of the best tanks in the game. This is giving us, you know, we heal. You leech for 50% of the fire damage that you deal. That's crazy. The amount of, all the fire damage that we deal, there's a lot of fire damage. There's Breath of Fire. There's Charred Passions, if you're taking that talent. There's also your Exploding Keg, which is really crazy, right? Exploding Keg, Dragonfire Brew / Charred Passions, the new Shadow Flame damage, Breath of Fire dot. That's a lot of fire damage that we deal, right? If you have a trinket that also does the other half of Exploding Keg. So there's a lot of fire damage that we are dealing. I think this 2-piece bonus is incredibly strong. And the amount of healing that we're going to get out of it in the Mythic Plus environment in particular has yet to be seen, but I can just guess it's going to be really strong, okay? The 4-piece bonus is even better. This is just gravy on top. Your attacks against targets afflicted by Breath of Fire have a chance to deal 10% extra damage as Shadow Flame. That's really important. Let me stop right there. Your attacks against enemies affected by Breath of Fire have a 10% chance to deal extra damage as Shadow Flame. So the damage that they're dealing is just based on whatever damage that they dealt. I'm assuming. I don't know what this extra damage as Shadow Flame means, but I'm assuming it's based on the amount of damage that you initially did, right? So if you are able to do more damage, then you're able to get more triggering, like a higher trigger of this Shadow Flame damage, right? So anything that buffs your damage as a Brewmaster Monk will buff the 4-piece damage that you're getting here. That's what I'm trying to say, okay? And each Celestial Brew now also grants you a Stagger Absorb for a 100% of the Shadow Flame damage that you do. Again, the more damage that you deal, more of it will be converted into Shadow Flame damage, and then more of that Shadow Flame damage will be converted into defensive shielding on this Stagger Absorb. So basically, you're going to run in and do all of your regular damage, and then you're going to pop your Celestial Brew, and it is going to give you this Stagger Absorb, which is super duper cool. And again, kind of hard to evaluate here because there's nothing hitting me right now, so I'm not actually getting a Stagger. But watch this. I'm going to do all this for a little while. We're going to do a bunch of damage. We're doing like 100k DPS right now, by the way, because this is absolutely insane. I'm not doing 100k anymore, but watch this. I'm going to do Breath of Fire into Keg Smash, and then here we go. We are going to press our Celestial Brew, and it's, watch the on the top corner here. I want you to see this. This is really important. Here we go. Celestial Brew right now. Here's this thing. This is the new thing. 300,000 damage that you're staggering will be prevented instead. That's just the extra 4-piece bonus. That's not even the actual Celestial Brew shield, which is amazing, by the way. This is just that extra. So I had a 300k Stagger Absorb. It's going to reduce whatever Stagger I have going. it's going to absorb instead of me actually taking the stagger damage. So this is a really great 4-set that is hard to evaluate right now, but I think it's very strong. I think both of these put together puts Monk in a really, really good spot moving into patch 10.2. Number one, a huge chunk of your damage is fire damage, so you're going to heal for 50% of that. On top of that, all the extra damage you're getting out of your 4Ps, out of your tier set bonus in general, is Shadow Flame damage, which you will also heal for. Buffing your damage in any way, shape, or form will buff the amount of Shadow Flame damage you're dealing, and it will also buff this new Stagger Absorb shield that you're going to be getting. So the more damage you deal, the more Stagger Absorb you're going to get. So it has offensive bonuses and defensive bonuses just to get yourself more damage. There's a couple of interesting talents that I'm just going to finish off this video with that I think are kind of going to be cool. Mandatory talents are going to be Breath of Fire into, I would say, Soul Album Strength. Getting Breath of Fire back is pretty cool. Or you could take Scalding Brew, whatever you want. And then you have to choose between Dragonfire Brew and Charred Passions. Whichever you want to do is up to you. I think they're both going to be strong choices. So you're going to have to take this stuff down here. Then I think you're going to be really incentivized to potentially take Counter Strike. Each time you dodge or an enemy misses you, your next Tiger Palm or Spinning Crane Kick deals 100% increased damage. So again, if you take something like Charred Passions, where your Spinning Crane Kick deals 50% additional damage as fire, if that Spinning Crane Kick is doing double damage, the fire damage from Charred Passions is also going to be buffed, which means you're going to be healing for more, and it also means your Stagger Absorb will be higher, okay? Like, it's just crazy how that begins to add up. So if you have Counter-Strike, you dodge, then you press Spinning Crane Kick inside your Charred Passions window. It does way more damage, and it heals you for way more. The other interesting thing I think that might be kind of cool is Blackout Combo. Blackout Kick empowers your next Breath of Fire to increase its damage by 50%. Again, if Breath of Fire is doing 50% more damage, we're healing for more. Okay, so I don't know what you guys think about these talents. These talents I don't think are typically taken. At least Blackout Combo is not really typically taken from what I understand. These might be really interesting ideas that you might want to take to modify your build so that you're doing more damage, which converts into more fire damage, which is going to convert into more fire healing, which is going to convert into a bigger Stagger Absorb. It all just kind of adds up and works together. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I really think Brewmaster is in a great spot. I think this tier set bonus is incredible. I think it might modify your talents that you're choosing a little bit here, which is kind of cool. But I think overall, it's filling in the biggest weakness that Brewmaster has, and that is continuous self-sustain. It is filling in that gap, which is going to make Brewmaster incredibly strong moving into 10.2. Let me know what you think in those comments down below. Thank you guys so much again for watching. I love you all. I will see you in the next one.